Good morning, everyone out there in internet television land. Producer Jeff is in the booth. That means one thing. It's time to start the show. The Today in AZ After Show, only on Facebook Live. Paul Gerke, Emma J, Vanessa Ramirez, James Quinones, chilling on the couch, as we are sometimes want to do. It's always great when you're on the program.
Yes.
To be completely honest with you. That fourth voice makes a big difference.
Yeah, well, it's a loud voice, too.
You always have a lot to say, and we love it.
Ratings go up, too. Huge. When you're on, it's giant. Those numbers are big.
Well, I've got my mom watching. I've got my father watching.
You bring a big
mother-in-law watching. Yeah, my children.
The kids,
all 16
yeah.
of them.
Sorry, what?
Yeah. Good morning, everyone.
Guys, we had a question for you. We want to know what scares you about modern dating. This is based upon our juicy question this morning, in which 41% of guys said they were scared of
venereal diseases.
Oh, well.
Oh, no. I mean, they should be, yeah.
They're scared of going bald. But this got us
Oh.
asking questions about the dating world.
Okay.
What scares you ladies? And what scares you if you're about to start dating somebody, or if your kids are maybe about to wade into that pool? We were talking about the new Tinder feature this morning. Spring break mode, which is allowing kids to hook up on spring break a little easier.
And it's only on the Tinder U app, which I didn't even know existed.
Yeah, what's Tinder U? Is it only for
Tinder
you?
U?
I think you have to have a college email address. I don't know. I haven't been in college for a long time.
Okay.
I don't know exactly how that works.
We're
Because
so
Tinder is known as the hookup app.
It was originally. Like,
Yeah.
that's how it was pitched. Like, when Tinder was launched, it was like, this is going to be sex, no strings attached.
Yeah.
Like, forget about it. It's not a dating app.
Whoa, because I remember when it was just getting big and I was covering the Olympics. I was in Russia, and the Tinder
Everyone
app
there was using it.
going
Oh, yeah.
crazy.
You needed
And so,
to meet someone, so you got on Tinder. Sorry, Brad.
as part of my research, I
Yes.
did join Tinder.
Yeah, I know.
Because I wanted to see all of the
I
athletes
followed
that were
you.
on it. Yes, and it was part of the story.
Was there tons of them on it?
I was married, and was I pregnant at that time? Probably. Something like, it was wild. But it was interesting to see because Ryan Lochte, everyone was on it. Because
Wow.
it takes
Because
your
it's a hookup app,
location.
so they just want to hook up at that time.
Well, I didn't know that
You
it was
know?
a hookup app, you guys. The way that our story was
yeah.
that these people wanted to develop serious relationships.
We're both
At
in a
the
foreign
Olympics?
country for 3 weeks.
Yeah.
Let's form long-lasting
Well, I
relationships.
was fooled.
Oh, and they all look like Adonises, too? Yeah, like, let me
Yeah.
just smush my beautiful body against yours for a night. Come on. Real quick, true story. I know someone who matched with Ryan Lochte on Tinder in this past Olympic Games in South Korea.
Really?
Or not South Korea, I'm sorry, last Summer Games in Rio, because he's not swimming during the winter.
That's
in
right.
Rio, I will not name her, but the woman sitting across from me at my NBC station got on Tinder and was swiping around on athletes and matched with Ryan Lochte.
Did
That
they
was
meet up, though?
No, because the very next night, Ryan Lochte got arrested.
So I was just going to say, that was a bad time to hang out with Ryan Lochte.
Yeah.
Yeah, lucky.
Yeah, lucky.
You want to know what? This is a little story about me growing up. I was never, girls never wanted to hook up with me.
Weird.
I pulled. Stop that. Let me finish.
That's your story time.
the cutest thing ever. I love that graphic so much.
There's a little disclosure about me. I was always, I don't know, it's not too shocking. I mean, they want relationships with me. But when I wanted to hook up, nobody wanted to hook up with me. I wasn't alone. I could pull girls. I could get girlfriends. I could get beautiful girlfriends.
But not just
nobody
hookups.
wanted to hook up with me.
Well, that's
They always-
great.
I
They
always
wanted
had to
to
go-
like tie you down. You're a great catch.
Yeah, but
dude.
all my other friends, like Paul running around, they're hooking up with that girl at night, and I'm in the friend zone, and I'm doing the calls, I gotta do the dates, but you know.
I hope my daughter never is that type of girl.
The hookup apps, like...
You know, the odds are, statistically.
No,
Just kidding.
it's just, dang it. I mean, like, I don't know. I guess I don't get that.
You know what I
So-
say? You have no control over that. None.
Well,
All you can do is
yeah.
love them, raise them the best you can.
That's it.
Kids are like the fingers on your hand. Each one of them completely different. One's going to be a Republican. One's going to be a Democrat. You
Well,
go
what if
on
I
and
have
on.
more than 10, though?
One's going to be a cat person. One's going to be a dog person.
You know, I first learned about Tinder, it was many years ago. I was out with my friends, and we were in Tempe. It was after, like, a sporting event. And so I was like, what are you doing? My girlfriend's like, I'm going to meet this guy. He's, like, coming right in line at the club or the bar we were at. And I'm like, what are you doing? So she's showing me, and it shows his location, like where he's at and how he was coming to meet
Too
her.
creepy.
And it was their first time meeting up. And I'm like, like, you guys are just gonna hook up? She's like, yeah. And so they ended up meeting up and whatever they did after that. But that's the first time I found out about it. And I was like, this is wild. Like, it tells your exact location.
I'll be honest, a previous version of myself did that a lot. Like, Like, no question. Like, there
Wow.
was no, you knew somebody for 15 minutes and you just, it was a...
That's scary,
It was
This
though.
was the wrong day for me to join the show. I am so lost on all of this.
Here's the thing, here's the middle ground that we have on this. I think that those apps, any dating app, but particularly like hookup apps, especially early on before they became... Tinder is much more of a dating app now than it once was.
Really?
I think when it became mainstream, it became a little more like the others and a little less fringe. The peril with all of these apps is that they turn people into commodities.
Exactly.
That's what we can agree. There's
Exactly.
always a
And
greener
I
pasture
think-
one swipe away.
But I think that is our problem that we are seeing in society and in these kids who are delaying marriage or delaying having children, is that there's no value in the person that you are meeting.
Yep.
Instead, it's about you. It's not about them. It's not about who they might be or their background. It's just about you getting your fix
How
and
can
then
you
being done
fulfill
with
my
it.
needs?
Do you know what else
And
that
then
is?
moving
Do you
on
know
to
what
the
else
next
has
one.
that? Porn. It's the
Porn
same
is the
thing as
exact
porn.
same
It's
thing.
the exact
Exactly.
same thing. You're
It's
hooking
safer.
up.
You're just watching it.
Boy, it is so
This is the thing that I've noticed now. So, right, I still have a handful of friends that are single, and they're all trying to work in this dating game world. But so there's another one called Hinge, and so there's like Bumble, Hinge, Tinder. There's multiple, Plenty of Fish, like all these dating apps. Well, so now guys, especially this time of year, because it's spring training, so they're coming in town to visit. They change their location ahead of time before coming into town, and so that way they can match with girls, build a relationship with them, and then meet up with them while they're here, and then that's it. But they're doing their homework early before they even make it here. It's crazy to me. I'm like,
I know that there are people who have developed relationships out of these apps, but do you guys really think that this is the way to go?
No, it's horrible. It's detrimental. It's a dark road we're going around. And I am not old-fashioned. I'm not conservative. It's the dude that wanted to hook up when I was a kid. But no, I think it's really can mess with people. And like Paul said, you put it perfect. You're turning people into commodities.
Right.
I'm gonna disagree with you a little bit here and say that yes, this is the future for meeting people, despite the negative ramifications.
Right. This is just how it's going.
But yeah, it's all about how you use it. It's just like anything. Like it's just like drinking alcohol on a Saturday night. You could have a drink every Saturday for the rest of your life and never have any consequences come of it. But it's about how you handle it and how it's about knowing and recognizing your own power with that technology.
That's a good point.
So you can use this app to hook up with a random girl a night if you want to. You could also use it to form a long-lasting relationship with someone who shares a lot in common with you. Those apps give you the tools to do that. Bumble, Hinge, Tinder, they all do. They allow you to match people that are very much what you're looking for in a long-term partner. If you choose to.
Yeah.
Although that is much more difficult than picking the low-hanging fruit and just
that's
sleeping
the
with someone for the night.
problem.
But people
have to be
now.
responsible.
But
with it.
People
even
are
when
not
you're on
willing
the
to
up and
put in
up, they
work.
lie.
Yeah.
They're lying
Well,
on
not
those
only
apps.
that, I find more and more that nobody wants the serious relationship. So how are you going to build a relationship with them? They're just wanting to like talk to you for a moment and hook up for a moment, or see if they're interested in you for a second, and then they move on to the next
It's
one.
because people can't handle a taste of the apple. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Once you get a taste for I could just have a cut and dry hookup and not have to worry about any of the strings of a relationship. Most of these young men are like, why the hell would I ever want a long-term relationship when I can just have what I want and get out? You know what I mean?
So messed up.
But
It
women do
messes
that
your
too.
brain so
Listen,
No, it's
I'm
true.
not trying to just skewer men because it's a two-way street. And I'm not saying that sexual assault doesn't happen on these apps, but most of the time it's consensual, that these girls want that too, that they're tired of dealing with men and their BS. And they're like, I have needs too. I can scratch that itch and then not have to deal with you and your problems. You know, it's a two-way street.
This
It
is
really
ladies' fault.
But
I
what is
blame
it-
the women.
My problem is,
Seriously, I do.
what does it lead you? What does it get to? What does it get you at the end of the day?
Alone?
Nothing.
Living with
You're
a cat?
alone.
Yeah.
Yes, exactly. And it's these little tiny satisfactions that are just like, when you pile them up, it just all crumbles down, because at the end of the day, you have zero relationships that are what a person actually needs. Instead,
I
you're
think-
just going with that primal
I think the
instinct
women
rather
get
than-
hurt more.
Well, that's
Guys can just go,
That's
we
the
can go
thing,
infinity.
though. Like, how do you date these days? And that's the question that we need to figure
you
out.
go
How do you
back-
date to find a relationship?
In my opinion, you go back to the basics and you get rid of all this crud on your phone. That's my opinion.
It's
you
just
get rid of
agree.
the phone.
Like, think about this, though. Again, I'm just playing devil's advocate. This is not even necessarily how I feel, but just for the point of discussion. Let's say I delete all of those apps from my phone. I actually haven't used them in years, but let's say I'm 10 years younger and I get rid of all the apps, right? How the heck do I meet people? Especially when I'm not a college student. Let's say I have a full-time job like I do now. Let's say I work overnights like I do now. Am I going to go out at noon at the end of my shift and try to score a lunch date?
That's
Now, wait
what
a
I
second.
did.
Exactly.
But
Jimmy
But
Q-
all I'm saying is this generation doesn't know how. I don't know where to
But
begin.
I don't know if you can say that though, because you keep. you keep up with everyone. Jimmy, I've watched you the past, I'm out on this conversation because I met my husband in college, and I think that I was super lucky to have had that, because the second that I graduated college and I tried dating outside of college, I was just like even more in love with my husband, because I was like, I will never find anything better than that guy.
Yeah.
So I'm out on that. However, I have watched Jimmy Q
In action.
date around. Yes, where you have gone up to people.
Yeah.
Heaven forbid, gone up to someone you thought that they were attractive and said hello.
Yes, when we'd go out for coffee with Dougie and the
Yes.
group, I'd see somebody.
You have a normal
talk to him,
conversation
get a
with
number,
someone.
get a card.
I don't think
you
it's
start
that
from
weird.
there. I
But I
don't.
think that people are stunted because
Yes.
of these apps that
That's
you
the
can get
right
on your
word.
phone.
That's the right word.
Yes, that they don't think that that's even attainable. They think, oh, that might be creepy. Or, oh,
But
that,
it's true. I've talked to girls before that are
But
like,
it's
what are you
wrong.
doing coming up to me? Like, get the heck out of my
Yeah.
space.
Then that's a girl
Yeah.
you don't want to be with.
Yeah, you know what
Exactly.
else is coming into play these days is social media. So people think that Facebook and Instagram are dating apps as well. I get it all the time. My
Yep.
girlfriends get it
Oh,
all the
yeah.
time. Guys sliding in the DMs trying to date them. Like this is
But
not what
girls
it's made
do that
for.
too.
True,
I very
true,
recently
yeah.
had an instance where I was trying to get a number, and it just kept getting put on the back burner and put on the back burner. I was starting to think I wasn't going to get it. And at the end of the night, she was leaving, and she's like, "You've got my social media." And I was like,
That's
"What?
how people do.
I'm
Let's
supposed to
switch
slide
social
into your
media.
DMs? Why
Yeah.
can't you just give me
I've
your
had
dang
people
phone
slide
number?"
into my DMs about you. Yes. Yeah.
Hi.
Oh, I know. Always about
Hey
me.
there.
I'm like, what?
How's it going?
Always about Vanessa.
No,
Like, all right,
and
another
so
one.
that's another way that people are trying to build relationships or meet someone.
Yeah.
Actually, I just noticed that one of the Bachelor guys, the Ben Higgins guy, he just announced the other day that he met some chick, but he slid into her DMs.
That's a
she
job.
didn't live where he was at,
Right.
but he slid in. They've been traveling, they've been meeting up, and now they're like full on dating.
Nick Jonas and Priyanka Chopra
That's how they did it.
slid into her DMs on Instagram.
Let's get to some of the viewer comments real quick. We don't want to ignore you guys. Typically, this show format works with you like being a part of the discussion. So we got to dive into what you're
There's
going to
lots of
shut up for
people.
2 seconds. Brian, all my early dating stories aren't appropriate to be told to the public. Don't blame you there, Brian. We're not pulling very many punches on this
Brian
show.
must be early Tinder.
Yeah.
Wait, listen to this. There's 2 Plenty of Fish comments. So Gidget said, I used Plenty of Fish and still with the amazing man after 4 years. And then Vanessa Flores said she used Plenty of Fish and going on 3 years with her guy, and they have a little girl together.
So what's the difference from Tinder to Plenty of Fish?
I've never been on
Well,
Plenty
so
of Fish.
Plenty of the Fish, they might have an app now. Back when I knew Plenty of Fish, it was just, well, you chortling? You chortled over
I
there.
went out with a girl, any
From
girl I
Plenty of
went out
Fish?
with back in the day. No, I was never on a website, but if they said they were on Plenty of Fish, I'm like, we're done.
Yo, so it's a free site.
Yeah.
And so really, and I'm not knocking any of you on Plenty of Fish. I'm just stating
Get
facts
what you
here.
pay for.
You get what you pay for. Plenty
Tinder's
of Fish
not
is
free?
Yeah, but Tinder's free, and so is,
but
Hinge
Plenty of
and all
Fish
them.
and Match.com were kind of different. But they might have apps now, but they're websites. Match.com is a subscription service. You pay a monthly fee to have access to that dating pool.
Right.
Plenty of Fish is that, but without the fee. So imagine you pay for a cable subscription and you get all the fancy channels. What do you get when you don't have the cable? You get the basics.
Yeah.
If you use Plenty of Fish, you get the leftovers.
Well,
you
they
get
met
the people that aren't.
actual
Well, I'm not saying that it can't work
relationships.
out.
No.
But you're getting the people who aren't taking it so seriously that they would pay for it.
I met a
That's
girl-
the nice thing about Match is that you get people that are actually they want to
Invested
meet
in a
on a relationship.
relationship.
Maybe it's a
Well,
higher
Peggy met her
quality.
guy on Match. She said, I've been dating the same guy from Match for almost 8 years.
There you
So
go.
It worked for her.
3 years ago, I walked into a bar and I was having a good time with a friend, and I saw the woman I was going to marry, the most beautiful woman ever. And I walked up to her and I talked to her and I said, "Hi, how's it going?" I did not get her number. I got her Facebook. The Facebook. But still, I went up to her and I talked and I engaged. Took me 3 months to get a first date with her, but I was
You
able
thought
to
you were in
connect
the
with her.
friend zone.
But you
Yeah, I
know
thought
what?
I was in the friend
In
zone.
my opinion,
but I
too,
talked to her.
You talked to
I
her.
engaged.
You didn't just like hi and then hit her up on Facebook after. You
Exactly.
actually had a
And
conversation.
this was 3 months ago. We're not talking
Yes.
18 years ago before all this stuff. I went right up, you know. I think most people really, they're open to just being able to converse, you know. When I grew up, we called it a rap. You have to have a good rap. Give me a talk to a girl. How you
Wait.
doing? And if they're interested, they'll talk back. If not, you're done.
I love Lauren's comment. It says, I've had so many bizarre online dating experiences that I actually started blogging about them, and the result is comic
cute.
gold. Lauren Michelle. I can only imagine, because we talk about it all the time. Seriously, my girlfriends get together, there's a whole bunch of us, and we're single, and everybody shares their own like dating stories, and it's crazy the
Vanessa,
stuff
my jaw hits
that we
the
hear.
floor. I share everything that you tell me with my husband, and we both are just like, there's no way. Stuff that happens to you.
That's why Sex in the City was such a popular show.
Yes,
Exactly.
yes,
Exactly.
it's just like that.
It is so
I have got
wild.
some Match.com stories in particular that I would love to share in this format, but I would just be worried I'd get in trouble. Like just some of the most ridiculous ridiculous things that
Which
you
one
can
have you had the
imagine.
most success relationship-wise?
That determines.
No, I
how
don't want
do
to
you
talk
say
about the other
success.
stuff.
I guess it was Tinder. Like I said on the show this morning, I was an early adopter. That came out probably 2012, I think they launched. I had a buddy who was like one of those San Francisco tech guys that was like, yo, you have to try this new thing. Like, this is how people are going to meet in the future. And so I signed up very, very early, back when it was very strictly like, this is a hookup app. If you're not interested in that, don't use it, basically. But with that comes so many dangers that I think young people don't appreciate until you come face to face with them, like sexually transmitted diseases, for example.
gosh.
Like young people aren't prepared to handle that. So what happens when your one night Tinder hookup sends you a message on Tinder that says you might want to get tested? How do you handle that?
Yeah, guys.
Like,
by the way,
what happens if
the
she
girl
says she's
that you hooked
pregnant?
up with on that site, you ain't the first dude.
But right, that's the thing. Like, you're not the only one, and you have to know that
Either
going
side,
in.
yeah.
Like, you can't
There's
think
a
you're
lot
special.
of dangers there.
It's the destruction of society.
And then how do you know who these people are? Like, you don't
You
get
don't.
their
You
background.
don't.
You don't know what they're, you know, they may have issues. They may have a criminal record. Like, there's so many
Horrifying.
things.
They might be married.
I got
they
a
might have
friend.
kids.
Yes.
They might, you know what I mean? Like,
I got a distant friend. I don't want to give his name. His name's Don. And he's creepy. He
Yeah,
is really
creepy Don, I know him.
Really creepy. Couldn't get dates. He was like into some weird stuff.
it's a new camera.
Right around 2012, right? Internet comes along, this Tinder stuff.
Yeah.
All of a sudden, he goes from zero, like creeping every girl out, to just fills his whole plate with dates and hookups.
Stop.
Yep.
The other thing that we've talked about plenty of times on
Connects
these dating
weirdos
apps
together.
is that everybody, you're not the real person. You put your best pictures, you angle them, you know, in a different way to make you look the best, and then you meet them in person. Whole nother story.
People lie on the internet.
Yeah.
They all lie about themselves. Yeah, I'm into this. I love to hike. A friend of ours, a mutual friend of ours, who's into hiking like crazy.
Oh, yeah.
Went out on a date with a guy. Says, "Hey, I like to hike too." The guy ends up throwing up like a mile into the hike because he doesn't hike. He lies.
He just likes girls that hike.
Yeah. Just, hey,
Although I'll be honest, I've hiked with that individual you're speaking about, and she'll make you throw up.
and
Like,
by
that's
the way,
a hard,
I
hard
refuse
hike.
to hike with that individual we're talking about.
Oh, that's tough hiking.
Oh, I thought you were talking about another one. The one with the fake story that she loves her dog, and then he said he had a dog, but it really was his roommate's dog. So just to,
Oh,
like,
that's a
get
different
date with
story.
her.
But yeah,
No,
but that's
that's-
another example of the
another
way
one.
people
I go to the
lie
dog
online.
parks. That's the creepo at the dog park
Yeah.
that borrows the dog to say, "Oh, hey, what's in your dog?"
Now, wait a minute.
Yeah.
Because Jimmy Q, you let someone borrow Rusco, and they are now married to
Yep.
the person that they met.
Exactly. Rusco's a very good luck dog, but yeah, for her as well.
A couple more viewer comments here talking about Plenty of Fish and their successes there. Gidget says, I use Plenty of Fish still with an amazing man after 4 years. Vanessa says, I use Plenty of Fish going on 3 years with him. We have a little girl together. So there are successes there for sure. Oh, we already said both of those?
Yeah,
I'm
but
too far up in
Haley
the
says,
comments
I
thread.
stay far away from Plenty of Fish, had terrible experiences. You get what you pay for sure. And that's going by what she
Jennifer
said.
says, much rather meet someone in person, going out in public through friends, etc. I did online dating thing for years, and it's trash, and I'm a catch.
Oh, okay, Jennifer.
I've been to the grocery store past months as this has happened, and it still happens. My old single days come back, and the girl comes, and I'm looking at the chicken section, and she's parked right next to me, and she starts looking at, it's right there. You can meet people. They give you hints. They come up to you. You just got to get those signals, and now I got to go, oh, green chicken.
You say that
Green
even
chicken up
attracts
there.
more. Because,
Well,
you know, women.
this is confidence. Girls
Yeah.
like confidence, too, so.
They see
Be
that.
nice that yours can fit right now.
I want to share one story. I've been kind of
Women call this a challenge.
I've been kind of mulling these through my head a little bit and thinking like which ones I could sanitize to the point that I could say them and they would be on my permanent record
Sanitize,
forever.
come on.
There's one, but this is a very short story, but it's very scary.
Oh, dear.
It says a lot about how you don't know the person that you're messaging. So I was on Match.com for 1 month in my life. They had like a free month promotion. I met 5 people through the site. One of them we had a decent enough time with, and we went back to her place afterwards. And we'll fast forward a little bit, and we're standing out on her balcony, and
Pushed you over.
she starts just like kind of flippantly saying like, yeah, I'm like still recovering today. I was like, oh, the wild night last night? She's like, yeah, I smoked meth with my friend and I'm like all like tweaked out. It's just like,
Yeah.
like offhand, like off the cuff, like it's no big thing. Like, oh, I just smoked meth. What?
Yep.
what do you mean you smoked? Like, that's not like saying, like, oh, I had a cigarette yesterday and I feel bad about it. It's not even saying, like, oh, I smoked pot. And
That's what's out there.
Meth! That's a whole other class.
That's what you're getting for the hookup.
Right, and it's like, I really don't know you. It just set the alarm bells
somebody that
off. And
does
you're like, I
meth-
gotta get the hell out of here. I have no idea what I've gotten myself into.
You need to go get yourself tested.
Yeah.
You know? Yeah, I can relate. I'm
It's
not
just
judging.
terrifying.
I have another friend that got online. Somebody hit them up through Facebook, this beautiful girl. And long story short, this guy, prominent figure in this town, won't like anything, exchanged all kinds of nudie pics with this woman.
That's a no-no.
Tons of, with this woman, right? This beautiful woman. Turns out it was a man.
Oh, buddy.
Yep. The man that hijacked the pictures
It's
of
a
this.
man, baby.
And he sent all types of nudie pictures of himself to this woman that was a man.
You just gotta be careful.
It's-
You never send
it's
pictures.
scary out there.
Never send
you don't know
pictures
who
like
you're
that.
talking to online.
No.
And even if it is somebody that appears normal that lives in your neighborhood that you're going to meet for coffee, you have no clue.
No clue.
So,
You know,
All right.
the one thing that I've
Yeah.
heard a good suggestion and that a good way to meet people is being introduced by a friend, a mutual
Yeah.
friend.
Yes.
That's I've heard that's
That's
another
it.
option. I don't know if it works.
how about celibacy? How about women making guys having to work for it, you know?
That's a thought.
You know, it's crazy.
Right.
And I'm not talking about like, you know, going to the altar wearing white, maybe a few, but you don't need like thousands under your belt.
Well, a gal that is watching us right now, she did that same thing. She tuned in. Remember I told you guys a story before. She didn't even kiss her husband, her now husband, until they got married. Like that was the deal. They're like, we're not gonna kiss, we're not gonna hook up.
It's like a TLC show.
Yeah, and so she's watching right now, so it reminded me. But that's what
This
they
is true.
did, and they got married.
Girl.
That's too extreme for me. The try it before you buy it thing still stands true. I would hate to be married to somebody for the rest of my life that I don't know if I have any
Chemistry.
physical chemistry
Yeah.
with. Like, listen, I admittedly have kissed some people that don't know how to kiss. You know what I mean? Like,
That is
what are you
true.
doing? And to
Yeah.
think that I'd be married to that person forever and like just kind of stuck with that is kind of a bummer, man. Like, I wouldn't want to be in that spot.
Yep.
I think there's a
That's
middle
a
ground
tough
in there
one, yeah.
somewhere.
Yeah, girls that sleep with guys that way too easily are motivating all other men to be single.
I'm sorry, but it's
Yeah.
just the old adage of you don't buy the cow if you get the milk for free.
You're absolutely right. No,
And all
that
these
is so
apps are
true.
selling milk.
Why would a guy get
That's
married
it.
if he can go on these websites?
Live by that and you will be
Ladies,
totally fine. Everyone,
seriously.
what a conversation. Holy smokes.
We hope you learned a lot today.
Happy Thursday, everyone. Say hi to someone. Smile at someone that you
Smile.
don't know.
Yeah, don't just send them a text.
Please do not. Happy after show.
And don't slide in Vanessa's DM.
I need a break from this show.
So where are we going for coffee, Emma?
Seriously.
Yeah, you have daughters.